Ba 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 bashers, and I've got like thread on my hat. I didn't even realize it. Put on a hat because my hair was a mess. Because I got caught up on a really crazy telephone call. Ba 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 bashers. Welcome everybody. It is Dirk. It is Dirk Weekdays. It is Thursday, the final day of the week for Dirk Weekdays. Tomorrow, of course, is Classic Bashers, where the big guy and I get together and drink wine and mayhem ensues. Anyway, I ran errands all day and I came home and my house phone rang. Now, when my house phone rings, it's usually somebody from Bangladesh saying, hello, I'm from your TV company. I would like very much to give you a better deal. And it's so I usually go, hello, my name is Agnes. And I play along with them for a while. Anyway, it was my friend David Brashear, who I have not heard from in 20 some odd years. A guy who's from Lexington, Kentucky. And he lived in New York, and he was the major domo for a very, very wealthy man on Park Avenue. And I got a job being a house bartender in this guy's palatial apartment. And I met this guy, David Brashear, and I have not heard from this guy in forever. He went back down to the devil went down to Georgia. He went down to Kentucky, and he just called out of the blue. And Paul's still on the phone with him, and he's telling us all the trials and tribulations. It's very interesting when you lose touch with someone. We were very, very close friends for a long time, for the better part of a decade. We actually, he got to use my dad's passes once. We took a trip to London. He had never been to Europe, so I said, we fly for nothing. Let's go. Of course, I don't fly for nothing anymore, but I did then. And it was very interesting. But he was just talking up. He's one of those people that you can't get a word in edgewise. So I just left. I was like, I got to go do my show. Make excuses for me, won't you? Let's see who got in here first. Easy E got in here first. Everyone was asking about where is he? I haven't seen him in a while. Upvoted. We'll send some art pics. You did send some art pics. I'll be at work, though. Hope it's a great one. Host with the most. Aw, aren't you the sweetest? Andrew Wolkowicz, Canadian, $5, working until 5:30. Everybody enjoy the show and upvote. Don't forget to subscribe. Become a Patreon only if you're able. Of course, everything in life is if you're able. Lend a helping hand, do what you can, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And for that, Andrew, we're going to give you a little bit of, how about some cowbell? I love it. I love me some cowbell. Look at this. Patreon Martin, a.k.a. Wrench. Carolyn Martin. I had to look at this. I was like, first I thought it was going to be something like Patreon Martin de Austerbuff de Paris. It looked like some kind of European nobility. But that's her watch. I was like, okay, Patreon. And she's got a wrench. And you know what? She's the only one that does have a wrench. So there you go. Because unlike other shows, I mean, you know who's got a wrench on this show? Sheen, and Timmy, and Carolyn. That's it. That's all. That's the only people that do. That's all I got to say. Well, welcome to Patreon. I hope you got your Patreon message that all the Patreons get. And welcome to the Patreon, Mademoiselle Martin. Ray Ray's here today, mostly been eating egg and onion sandwiches. What's better than an egg and onion sandwich? Thunder and lightning sandwiches and farts. Well, okay. Melly C is here. Good day, Dirk. Hope you're well. I am well today. I slept like an animal last night. I think I went to bed I didn't watch The Matrix yet. It's queued up. It's on Netflix. I'm going to watch it after the show. I'm not going to subject Paul to that because he hates sci-fi and he will just start. Paul is a continuity He should work for all the major studios because he'll be like, that can't be like that, because if this happens like this, that couldn't happen like that. And that's the wrong year for car, because Chevrolet didn't put out the Impala until September of 68. He's the worst. So sci-fi, not going to happen with him. I'm going to watch it on my own after the show because of all that court mumbo jumbo and all that stuff and dealing with, and then, then I went on a hurricane rampage and decided to clean Rose's apartment, and just, I was exhausted, and I slept till 9 a.m., which is rare. That's all I can say. So I'm well, though, and I can't wait to see your pictures. I see you put Mork and Mindy and a Tudor Black Bay 925, and I can't wait to look at that in the Bastards Gallery. And remember, kids, if you want to send pictures to the Bastards Gallery, and you should, you share them with me. I share them with the world at your discretion. It's like sending me pictures through bashtardirk.com is like the NDA agreement. It means I can show them, and then we'll talk about them. And that's the best part. Remember, guys, this is your show. I just hosted. So you send stuff, in the chats and in the pictures and all the wonderful super chats and all that stuff. And it changes the tenor of the conversation, because I do not pre-plan for the most part. Today I was like, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about music, because everybody always wants to talk about music. And I'll talk like I could talk a dog off a meat truck when it comes to that. So thank you so much for that. And let's see. Nick Sisto's in the room. Hey, Nick Sisto. Nick Sisto. CW Watch Enthusiast. Hey, Dirk and everyone. Hey. Dave Fahrenheit 451. Congratulations, Miss Wrench. She's here. Thank you so much. Dean is here. Dirkus Maximus Prime. Bashers ready to assemble. Bashers assemble. Get ready to rumble. For a moment, I thought it was Miss Martin. Yeah, that's what I thought. Wench. That's even funny. I'm not wearing the Speedy today. I'm milgassed out because I got that new roll of tape. I went to Target today because you know what? It's really hard to find the Rolex official stickers, or whoever they don't make them for this clasp, which is the simple snip and a snick. It's hard, so I just get this tape and I throw it right down the polished center link, and that's it. So I've got brand new tape on it. I went out today and I took a couple of pictures. I was sitting talking to a friend. I was on a park bench. Couldn't tell you the last time I did anything leisurely, depending on where you're from. I sat near, we have this beautiful courthouse. I wasn't going there, but I went to the local courthouse in my neighborhood called the Long Island City Courthouse. It's a Supreme Court, I believe, and they have this beautiful fountain and benches. And I just sat there and I had a coffee and I talked to a friend. And while I was sitting there, my Milgas was reflecting so much green, I decided to take some pictures, and I haven't put them up on the Instagram yet, but I'm going to do that immediately. Immediatement. So I'm not wearing that. Bert Dundee is here. Hey, bastards. Bert Dundee. So what's going on with you all on this Thursday afternoon? It's 5:09, and I'm going to watch The Matrix. And, don't anybody, a lot of people were telling me, well, you got to do this and you got to do that. Don't tell me anything about the movie, because I have an idea of what it's about. I know it's about that guy, and I know his name is Neo, and I know that there's two other people that are like these, I don't know, what are they, the informants of this other dimension. And I now know about red pill, blue pill, and I only knew about that from people who are in QAnon. QAnon is that super cuckoo, super right-wing conspiracy theorist group. I know a couple of people who are in it, and I'm fascinated by the information that they're privy to, but I'm not. I was actually told by somebody, well, you're not supposed to know about them. I'm like, why can't I know about it? Because I don't know how to get on the dark web. So red pill, blue pill, but I don't know what they mean. So I know that there's a meaning for red pill and blue pill. I just don't have any idea what it means at all. So what are you guys all wearing today? Let's hear, first of all, send me some wrist shots. Why don't you send me your Thursday wrist shots? I don't have a whole hell of a lot in the Bastardos gallery today. Everybody's being a bit lazy, but that's okay. Send me your pictures. I want to show them to the world. I want to show them to all the bastards out there. I got stuff from Easy E. I have stuff from Dean. I have stuff from Melly C, Vasilios. And Ken, oh, let me put this up here now because it was supposed to be for the other night. And I'm so sorry that I forgot it. I didn't see it, I guess, in time. So he resent it. And basically what he said was, I think you missed my post for last Tuesday. Forward, another vintage Hamilton military British broadsword with a tritium dial. And I was like, I want to see that. Hold on. Let me show it. It's quite beautiful. I love these Hamiltons. They're amazing. And this photography is outrageous, huh? Look at that. I'm going to leave that on the screen so you guys notice any stuff. Look at this dial, man. Absolutely cool. I'm so sorry that I didn't see it. Very cool. Look at this photography. This is beautifully done. What is this object in the back? Can I ask what that is? Something. It looks like it has the Rolex coronet on it, but it couldn't, right? Is that some kind of a paperweight? By the way, I don't. Is that strap original? Because it looks oldie fashionedy. Quite beautiful. Look at this. This is a fantastic piece. I would love an old military watch like that. I don't have anything even close to it, but they're beautiful. And that case is enormous, though, right? It's pretty enormous. Gotta say. Anyway, sorry about that the other day. I didn't see it because sometimes I get, I get, I don't know, 100 emails a day, possibly, and it's a whole hell of a lot to deal with. But whatever. I will get to it if you remind me. If I do miss your pictures, please just send me another email and tell you you did that. Don't because I don't want to mess up. Dean said, I said yesterday, Dirk, if you watch the Matrix trilogy, it's like Dallas. I'm not going to watch the trilogy unless I think the first movie was amazing. And apparently I'm going to. So everyone who knows me says I'm going to love this movie. So, okay. Dave says, I feel the best line in that movie is Mr. Anderson. I will look for that for sure because I have no idea what that means. Melly C says, double wristing today. Melly C, did you send a picture of what you're double? Let me take a looky poo in this. I'm not going to. Oh my God. The pictures of Mindy. You're trying to tease me with the beautiful Mindy. Vasilios is here. He says, hi to all. How are you, Vasilios? Did you send me a picture today? You did. Okay. I'm excited to get to that later in the show. Oh, that's your tutor. Beautiful. Beautiful wrist shot. So I thought maybe on Thursday we could start out by talking about music. And I'll tell you, somebody asked me what I think about the current state of music. And I have to admit that it's an unfair question because one, I'm biased because I'm an old school kind of musical person. So like I went to school and I studied and I like music a lot and I like real singers, real players, real songwriters, great sounding records. I did embrace the digital revolution before most people I know. Like I've had a digital recording setup in my house since maybe 1996 or 7. So I did embrace that. Little did I know that down the line, my biggest problem with if you look at the charts and you look at the stuff, and I hate sounding like Oshino always says I sound like an old man, and it's true. Well, maybe it is true. Probably they would have said the same thing about the stuff that I was listening to, but I will say this: the music that I was listening to was really sung by people, and it was really played by people. It was really written by people, or one or two people. Very rarely did it have giant committees like they have nowadays. I give Taylor Swift so much rope. I didn't like her in the beginning. I was like, all right, she's not that bad. So I listened to her records when she came out, and I made what I think is a pretty astute observation. I think she's a vampire. And the reason why I say this is because she's been palling around with Lana Del Rey, somebody who is much derided by the the public. People love her, but a lot of people think she's really bad live or she's not a good singer. And you don't have to be the best singer or the best guitar player or the best anything to be really good at what you do. Now, Lana Del Rey is not a great singer, but she's a very interesting singer. And Lana Del Rey is not a very good live performer, but she has a certain kind of aesthetic to her and a certain kind of magic that I find enthralling. I don't I don't need somebody to be Freddie Mercury or, not necessary. I already have that in my life. We have all these things. But getting back to the Taylor Swift thing, she's been hanging around with Lana Del Rey quite a bit. So much that when she won some award, she dragged Lana up on the stage. And I thought, wow, that's really weird. If I was Lana, I just wouldn't go. Um, then I realized that maybe Lana Del Rey is either ghostwriting for her or something, because I just saw her new video and it's a Lana Del Rey song. It's her ambience, it's her aesthetic. It is sounds so much like something that Lana Del Rey would do. So I think she is a succubus, and I think she probably hangs out with people and sucks the blood out of whatever creativity they do, and she tries to put it, because I don't think she's got an original idea to save her life. And she's the biggest star in the world, and she doesn't need me. She does not give a flying fig Newton about what Dirk thinks about her music. But a lot of people ask me in emails, and I don't really talk about music all that much. We talk about fun stuff from back in the day and all that kind of shit, and that's always cool. But I got maybe 10 or 12 emails this week about what do I think about certain artists, and Taylor Swift is generally the one that comes up, and I'm like, I I don't have any opinion other than I don't think she's very original, and I don't think she's very good either. I think she's funny looking. I don't think, and I don't mean she's ugly or anything. I just think she's awkward looking. She's not a natural performer. It looks like pageant, like she's in a pageant. She'd look good with a baton in her hand. Um, it's not my cup of tea when it comes to the fake. Oh my god, me, you guys think she's been the biggest star in the world for 10 years. She's now a billionaire. I just don't understand why it wasn't Amy, or I mean, Adele's music has gotten pretty milk toast over the years. It's just boo hoo. I'm mad. I've left you. And Taylor Swift. Don't That poor Travis guy. He's gonna have a whole album dedicated to him when they break up, and and he better be careful. He better get out sooner than later. Here's another question. How in the world can a really super duper famous person have a relationship with? This is why they hook up with other celebrities. How can you dip into the population and not have it be terrible? Because everyone's going to think that person's a gold digger, that you're using you for your fame. And then you, as the famous person, will think, how do I trust this person? Is this person going to exploit me? Are they going to, and then do you have to make them sign NDAs? We're all watching. Well, I don't know who cares in the rest of the world, and a lot of you, good percentage of the show, are people in another country. But I've been keeping up on the Trump trial with that. Listen, I don't like him, and I think that Stormy Daniels is, she's a prostitute. Can you trust a hooker? Is she a hooker with a heart made of gold? I don't know. It's like when they get like jailhouse snitches to come in and and testify. I mean, how can you trust them? They're just there to make deals. They could be lying. They could certainly be lying. So when you're Taylor Swift and now you're going out with was it Travis Kelce? He's a very famous person too, right? MVP, all that stuff, and that'll work until it doesn't work. And then what if you want to be like Dolly Parton has been married to this guy named Carl Dean for like 65 years. She met him when she was a nobody. They were together forever. It's perfect. But if you're, you know, Sofia Vergara, who just recently broke up with a slightly younger man who was also famous, now what's left for her? She's going to dip into the population. She's beautiful. She's got to learn how to trust people all over again. I think it's really terrible. And how I got onto that, I don't know, because I'm tangential, but uh, all goes back to like the whole Taylor Swift thing. There's something very disingenuous about her. I know she gives away a lot of money, but when you're that rich and you give away a lot of money, I think there's obviously benefits to it too. And I don't care about that either, because giving is giving, and I don't care if you get a tax break. You deserve one, I guess. And I know her crew thinks she's pretty great. They take care of she takes care of them. And I've known a lot of touring musicians whose Big star employers don't. Some people don't make a fair wage when they're out on the stage rocking and making some superstar show better every night, musically, performance wise, aesthetically. You know, who, like take Mariah Carey, for instance. She was never a natural performer. She was a studio rat for, I think, the first 4 or 5 records. She never toured. And people are like, maybe it's studio fakery. No, she could really sing, but she's just such a stiff on stage. She puts on, and then when she got into the whole hip hop thing, it kind of ruined her beautiful chanteuse. She was young, she was beautiful, and then she bought new boobs, and she got voluptuous, and which is fine if that's what she wants to do. But she starts wearing very kind of provocative outfits. She used to be, remember when she had pigtails and a flannel shirt and a corn seed, and she was lovely. Everything about her, the early part of her career, everybody loved her. And then she just got kind of slutty. Now she sits in a mini dress on a sink on a countertop and tells people to get the fuck out. And that's the title of her song. And she has a wine bottle in her hand. She's actually name drops Camus, which is such a hip hop thing to do, to name drop, brand drop. So I grew up in the era of just pre-MTV, late 70s, and then MTV era where everything was glitzy and glamorous, but it was fun. And when you went to see people live, they generally tried to ape their videos, but they generally did. There wasn't a lot of lip syncing going on. There was certainly no auto tune or pitch correction or any of that stuff. There were you'd have background singers or backing tapes. That has happened. Like somebody just recently told me that the Jeff Lynne and the Electric Light Orchestra, whom I adore, and those records are fantastic, and I've seen them several times live. They, back in the 70s, they got in trouble for using backing tapes. And I know David Bowie did too, because he admitted it a long time ago, because he was doing such a theatrical production. But technology moves on, and old farts like me get off my lawn, et cetera, et cetera. You have to realize that people, like, language evolves, and people start using words. Like, people don't Emmett sent me something today, or Sheen sent me something today, and it was a guy whom I know. He's like a hard rock, heavy metal journalist. He's pretty famous. His name is Martin Popoff. He's written a couple of books. I've talked to him a bunch of times. But my band is in a couple of books because he mentions this, whatever. And he says he doesn't use adjectives. That's what the kids do now. Uh, it's so weird. Like, just adding an ly to something makes a sentence sound so much better to me. And I don't understand, like, when that happened. I guess it's all truncated because of texting and abbreviation and all that stuff. So music is kind of the same. And one of the emails I got, it was from a guy named Dr. Roberts, and I had never seen him on the show before. And his email said, I'd be very curious to know if you think that the auto tune and lip syncing and all of that stuff is a fad, like it's in fashion right now, and that eventually people are going to get over it, and it's going to go back to big old raw live performance. And I wrote him back after much thought, and I said, I think it's a little of both. I don't think lip syncing is going to go away, because I think it's too easy a crutch to fall into. And you know how it works most of the time? If you're a reasonably credible singer, you're the guy that's mixing your sound will have your live microphone up on a they're called faders. So you turn it up, you turn it off, and loud, loudest. And then they'll have the tape. And if you're having a bad night, he'll slowly edge you out and put the thing on, the background, tape. And of course, it's digital now. And the drummer's got headphones on. He's listening to clunk, 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 clunk. He's listening to a click track. So in case you need background vocals or keyboards or strings or lead vocals or whatever is in the industry calls it the toaster, it locks up. I think that will never go away. I think that people are trying to put performances out now that are bigger than they've ever been, delivering more bombs, more ramps, more fire, more video, more perfection that sounds like the record just bigger, bigger, bigger. I think that's never going to go away unless another Nirvana, a band I never really liked, but I get why they were effective, unless another artist comes out like them and kicks the doors down and just says, fuck all this bullshit. You can't sing, get off the stage. It could happen. I do think, and I do pray that the use of pitch correction on records goes away for the most part. I hope that I hope the Grammys and I hope the Recording Industry of America, the RIAA, I hope they eventually adopt some kind of legislation that disqualifies you for any kind of fakery. And that does not include sampling and shit like that, because sampling is just a sample. You're using it. You have to get the rights to it. You mention it on the thing because you'll get sued otherwise. But when you're like, somebody comes out and they sing the most beautiful vocal, it's not going to say, asterisk, this vocal was, we used Melodyne or we used Autotune to pitch correct this. I think that should be adopted because it will scare people away and producers away and product whores away from producing this artificial product instead of, like, here's a perfect example. Like, people are trying to throw Dua Lipa into that shit. And you know what? If it wasn't for Oshina, I wouldn't know nor care. I would have naturally assumed that Dua Lipa is one of them. I did hear one of her songs and thought it sounded disco and cool with strings in it. Turns out she's totally legit, that broad. She is so legit. She doesn't lip sync unless she's doing some cheesy show on TV, but her vocals are real. I read a thing with her engineer and I saw a video of her doing live vocals in the studio. She's really, really good. There are people out there, the Gagas of the world. She doesn't use autotune. Pink doesn't use autotune, but like, Ariana Grande, I heard a song of hers on the radio the other day. I was like, that girl could sing you into Next Tuesday, and it was all tuned. And it's ruining the humanity. It's ruining the synapse. Your body is absorbing the frequencies of the music, and it's relating to your nervous system and your body and your brain and your soul are reacting to it. And when it's all so perfect, it's just not the same. So that was that email. And I saw, I digress. But somebody asked me what I think. Listen, I'm the first guy to say I love that if it's good, if I think it's good. Every once in a while, like last night, I sent. We have a little group. We have a little group called the Club on our phones, and it's because we all travel together and we go to Europe. We call and we all feel so cunty. We call it that, and it's the thing that we talk about and we chat about just about it. And it goes out to all the gang that's always going traveling together because we love to hang out on vacation together when we get to do it. And I was watching Howard Stern the other day, and Kate Hudson came on, and she sang her ass off. Kate Hudson. Now, her father is Bill Hudson, who she has no relationship because he's kind of a deadbeat dad, and he's said terrible things about her and her brother. He was married to Goldie Hawn or with Goldie Hawn. I don't know what their legal status was, but he's a very, very talented musician. Him and his brothers, the Hudson brothers, were big on Saturday morning for children back in the day. And she got on and she sang this very mediocre song. But it was a real song though. I mean, it didn't cut any punches. It had no production. It was just, guitar, bass, drums, keyboards, and a girl on sax. Really good. And saxophone's my least favorite instrument. I find it, especially tenor sax, I just find it so incredibly abrasive. And unless it's, Born to Run, Clarence Clemens, there's a couple of people out there that just do it so well in rock. This lady was fantastic. And I thought she was really great. And I watched it like 4 or 5 times. She did a couple of covers, which were good. She did Stone Temple Pilots' Vaseline. I urge everybody to watch it. And she's so beautiful. And Kate Hudson's so likable. I was like, who knew she's got this very smoky kind of cigarette and whiskey voice, but powerful. And I thought she was terrific. So when I hear something I like, I'm the first to say I like it. Why not? Why not? Melly C, did you send me a picture of what you're double fisting today? I would love to know. Oh, you haven't, but I do want. Of course I want. Melly C says she doesn't really listen to modern music. I don't listen. I am not privy to the radio or Spotify. I do not have a Spotify account because Spotify is notorious for stiffing their artists. Apple Music and Tidal are better from what I understand. I get a check as minute as it is because my band is so, you know, whatever, not popular in the United States in any way. We have a very small, weird cult following in Europe, and small amounts from Apple and Tidal and whatever that weird one is in Germany. But I get nothing. I've never gotten anything from Spotify ever, and I saw the plays, so I don't know. Dean, hey, oh, a new photograph, looking great. Are you one of those guys that uses like a Chat GPT or whatever that version of what is it called, Da Vinci, or it's called something like Buonanotte? Does anybody know whose last name was Buonanotte? I'm sure you do, because you're also smart. Dirk, I'm in need of a new PC. The MacBook Pro is old. The HP is slow. So going to build a real high-end gaming PC, just saving up. I will tell you this because I have not been in the Windows game, the PC game forever. I am maxed out. My whole life is Apple. So, and Apple's never been the thing if you want a gaming PC. But Dean, I will tell you this. Bashtardirk@gmail.com. And the reason why I say this is because I don't know how computer savvy you are or whatever. It doesn't really matter. MacBook Pros, depending on what age they are, I can and I will for you, dear Bastard. I will absolutely look at you. Just give me the specs. Send me the specs at Bashtardirk bashtardirk@gmail.com, because that's what I've been doing for my entire adult life, is taking MacBooks and iMacs and ripping them apart and putting them back together with faster RAM and faster, SSDs and all that stuff. And I will tell you right now, if it's like a 2012 or a 2011 or 20 some half of 2013, it's very upgradable. Anything after that, it all went to goo. So it depends. But send me your specs and I might be able to help you out on that. I might even have the RAM here, because I'll tell you right now. Do I have it right here? Okay, see this box? See this box with the Apple on it? And it doesn't matter. I have about 1,000 RAM chips in here for like 1 million models of MacBooks. Because somebody always says, my MacBook is slow. And I'm like, what model is it? And then I grab my vase of doom. So send me that information and I'll see what I can do to help you out. Because I love rebuilding them. I did it. That's how that was my side hustle forever. Sheen would send me MacBooks in the mail or iMacs in the mail, and I would fix them up, and he'd ship them out. He'd send me the stuff, and it was great because when he moved to Italy, he was doing all that stuff on his own, and he said, "You want to help me out?" I was like, "Absolutely, I do." It's something I do for fun anyway, and for one of the bastards, you better be right, mister. I'm going to do it for you. Just give me a shout and let me know. Bert Dundee. I kind of get the Billie Eilish thing. Of course you do. You know why? She's magnificent. See, there's an artist I absolutely love. She's the real deal, man. She can sing her ass off. And, maybe I would love to say that her brother, who engineers and produces all of their records, because they write their own stuff. It's just the two of them. There's no committee. There's no Pepsi Cola. There's no Microsoft. It's those two in his bedroom studio. Now he's got his own apartment, so he's probably got a better studio now. He uses Logic Pro. She's amazing. But I've seen her sing it live, like that Bond theme. It's haunting. She did a beautiful job with that, coming back from Sam Smith's epically terrible one, but not as bad as could have been good. Jack White and Alicia Keys. I want to think about the finger his fantasy. I don't like him at all, but man, I get it. First of all, he's a swinging ass drummer, because the drums on that track, it's called Another Way to Die from Quantum of Solace, which is my favorite. Even though Casino Royale is the best James Bond film ever made, Quantum of Solace is my favorite for a lot of reasons. It's the worst theme song. I'm gonna say Sam Smith's is worse. It's Alicia Keys. She ruins it. And maybe auto-tune would have fixed her, because she couldn't find the key if it was in her door. That's all I have to say about that. Billie Eilish, she's fantastic. And the M is here. More thumbs up, guys. Here's a girl that could talk about music till she's blue in the face. Hey, Gail. She says, hey, Dirk, happy Thursday. If you guys might remember, she crashed the show a couple weeks ago. Now she's a bastard. This is a lady I have known for the better part of 30 plus years. She was around in the scene back in the day. She was probably at all the Hitman shows. We went to all the functions, all the fun stuff. And she's a wonderful, amazing person. And I don't even know where you are on this planet Earth. Okay, if you say you're in New York, I'll scream. I'm still here, but hopefully Italy's calling. Hey, Angelo Minichello. Good evening, everybody. Good evening to you, Angelo. Everybody enjoyed his unboxing last week. I got a lot of messages. Absolutely incredible. People loved it, man. Nobody knew about those watches until you showed up. A lot of people didn't even know about them at all. Gail says Taylor Swift is a succubus. She is. I think she is. Here's my sister, Carrie Kennedy. LOL. Taylor Swift looks like a drum major. If she does, she just, that's, look, I'm not going to knock this. She's a very successful person. There's something so fake about her. I just don't dig it. I'm usually a pretty good judge of character because for the most part, everybody I've ever let into my life is still in my life because I pick great people. All my friends are been my friends forever, because what you got to vet people before you let them in. Her, I don't know what it is, and it's just it's her, what she does is so not commensurate with how big she is. You know what I mean? She's bigger than Madonna. When Madonna was big. This is way bigger than that. And maybe it isn't. Maybe it's just that the numbers now are so exaggerated. Because, Madonna was selling out every venue too. And she was like, she made $100 million, off the tour. That was a lot of money. Now that's not a lot of money. Movies aren't hit movies when they hit 100 million. 100 million was like a blockbuster. I remember hearing a movie made $100 million. Like, Saturday Night Fever in Greece, I think they made like $40 million in their box because money was different. So maybe it just seems like a lot because the earning is so much higher. Taylor Swift is a billionaire now. Madonna's been working on her career for 40 plus years and she's worth close to $1 billion. And now she's on this, where she just finished this giant tour. But it was arenas. It wasn't stadiums. Taylor Swift is selling out as many nights at as many stadiums as she wants. You cannot possibly overbook her. She probably would do 2 shows a night if she could, whatever. Also, there's nothing about her personality that lends itself to theatricality. That's another problem I have with the spectacle now. Like, you go to see Queen, and Queen were theatrical because Freddie was flamboyant, and the whole Queen persona. Kiss, for obvious reasons. Black Sabbath, it was dark and scary, and these big productions. Now everybody has ramps and bombs and lights and stuff, and that just doesn't seem like. She started out country, like Shania Twain. Here's a funny one, right? So our friend Roy went to go see Shania Twain at the height of her superpowers. This is the 90s, right? Probably around 95, 4, I don't know, whenever Come On Over came out, and it sold 8 trillion records. Garth Brooks and her were just selling all the records. I love Garth Brooks. I think he's freaking amazing. Amazing singer, amazing. Great live, and apparently the loveliest guy in the world. Everybody says he's a sweetheart. I even like that Chris Gaines record he made, which was him pretending he's like a dead rock star. So he went to see Shania Twain. I said, oh, how was she? He goes, it was a fucking Pepsi commercial. I was like, okay, that's what it feels like to me. When you don't have, like, you go to see Bowie, you're going to see some kind of performer as actor, or they have a certain something. Madonna, she's got the controversy with, being provocative and very sexual, but also her repressed Catholicism and losing her mom at a very young age. It all added up to something that made sense. Some people might not see that, because like Paul hates Madonna, Sheen hates Madonna, and like Madonna's done amazing work. She's got great records. Like a Prayer is an amazing record. Erotica is my favorite record. I love the Truth or Dare movie. I think she was great, much better than Taylor Swift, and a much better singer. Madonna's got a very unique sound, I think. The sound, I like it. Anyway, that's what I feel. Have you heard of Florence and the Machine? Of course I have. Her voice is terrible. I agree. Oh my God. But God, can she sing and put out some real bangers? I couldn't agree more. And here's a perfect example. God, she's a terrible singer, but she's not. She's not a great singer, but she's very cool at being Florence of Florence and the Machine. She's got this very weird vibrato, and she's always a little bit flat or sharp. And who cares? Because it's very unique to her, and she sounds really great. I couldn't agree more, Andy M. I think that her voice is not, there's nothing to write home. But like Lana Del Rey, not a great singer, but I love Lana Del Rey. I don't care. I'll listen to Shirley fucking Bassey if I want to hear a great singer. I'll listen to Adele if I want a great singer. There's so many people that are Whitney Houston if I want perfect vocals. You know what? Those vocals on all those records, they never had to tune Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey back in the day. They didn't have it. The only way you could do it was to slow the tape down. And it was really hard to do. And they only would generally do it if it was for one tiny second. You like tape machines when they were playing, they would go, whoa, 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 whoa. And then they would actually take a razor blade. And there's a slot on the recording machine where you could actually cut the tape, find where the mistake was, cut it out, and then put it back together. But it went so fast you couldn't hear it. Now it's just swipe. You could do it on your phone. But I couldn't agree more. Amazing. Bob Sacamano. What I hate about Taylor Swift is her washing her dirty laundry in public. Dissing your ex is not classy. Remember, it takes two hands to clap. Like I said, he needs to watch out because she's gonna be like, she's gonna write a song called like SDS or you make up your own acronym there. You know what I was thinking now. She's gonna make up a whole record. It's like Beyonce wrote a whole album about her husband cheating on her. And don't get me started on that hack because I don't get her at all. I think she's annoying. I think her persona is crap. I don't think she's classy. I think it's just trash. I don't dig her in any way, shape, or form. She's so disingenuous. Her concept's Lemonade. Fuck off, Lemonade. It's garbage. And she should have won Album of the Year because 60 people wrote the fucking song. See, this is why I don't talk about music on my show because I get very upset about it. I'm like, you know what? We have a friend named Jess Hudek who's like a singer-songwriter, and she's fucking amazing. And she writes songs by herself. And like she puts them on Instagram and we watch it and nobody else does. And she's fucking amazing, like singers. Colin Smith from Oisin's band, Mr. North, one of the greatest singers I've ever heard in my entire life. Should have been the biggest star in the whole wide world. I mean, should have been enormous with Mr. North. I mean, because when they happened, they were so young and so beautiful and so perfect and so primed. It was the right music at the right time. And, the perfect four guys in a band. I'm not blowing smoke up Sheen's ass because I was a fan first. I was a fan of his band before I ever hung out with him. I used to go to see them every week. And he was like I told you guys, he was the last guy in the band I became friends with. I became friends with Emmett and Ado and Colin. And I became very, very close friends with Colin for many, many, many years. And then he quit the band and kind of went off to do his own thing. And, as happens in this world, but that should have been huge too. You look at the top 10. I'll go to Billboard in a minute. We'll go look to see who the fuck they are. Gail says Florence and the Machine is awesome. I agree. I don't think she's an annoying singer. And I don't think she's a good singer at all, but she's got big power. Is she Welsh? She probably is. Because people from Wales can sing really loud. Tom, Shirley, amazing. Yeah, Andy's not a fan either. Danny Gutierrez, did you ever hear these bands? And if so, what did you think of them? Saga and the Hooters, both Canadian bands. Saga, sure. Yeah, everybody heard of the Hooters. I mean, this was a great 80s sound, right? Saga is more of a progressive rock, right? Kind of like Rush with full-on keyboards. Saga, I'm trying to remember their big song. The Hooters were actually maybe number one for one or two singles in the United States. They were very big. I mean, the 80s was ear candy. Everything was so catchy. Keyboard, was so infectious, bubblegummy and candy. So I love all the pop, all that stuff. I loved it all. I loved it all. Oh, Andy wants to know, did you get a chance to check out Judy Zook? Did you see what I wrote on did you see what I wrote on the YouTube last night? So here's the funny thing. I mean, I instantly knew the name, but for some reason I was thinking of Judy Tenuta. But I knew the name Judy Zook because I seen her live. Or as kids like to say, I seen her. I've seen her live. And you know where I saw her? I saw Elton John in Central Park in 1980. We were in high school. I went to Central Park with my BF, Brian Healy. We went to go see, we saw everybody. Kiss and Queen and Black Sabbath and Van Halen and blah, blah. We saw everybody. You name it, we said Rush, Rush, Rush. We used to see everybody. He was like my grammar school best friend, and we've actually gotten together for reunions. He came to both my parents' funerals. He's like just a stand-up amazing guy. Anyway, I saw her live. She opened the show at Central Park. So she performed for like the 450,000 or 500,000 people when Elton John did that. And I think about it, it was so long ago. He had just put out his album called 21 at 33. So Elton John was 33 years old. It's a famous show because it's the only time he wore this Donald Duck costume. And every single time you've ever seen a picture of him, it's from that show. So I did, and I listened to that song last night, and I can honestly say I have no recollection of it at all. At all. So I don't know. Would love to know your thoughts on Millie Bobby Brown. This is a name that I've heard. I don't know who she is, what she does, but today when I was in Trader Joe's, they were playing some kind of music like a radio station, and a DJ came on and they're playing Bon Jovi. And apparently she's marrying one of the Bon Jovi boys. Is that true? His sons? I don't know who she is. I know who Bobby Brown is. I mean, I don't know who Millie Bobby Brown is. What is she, an actress or a singer? I don't know anything about her. I don't keep my ear to the, uh, you know, uh, I don't know if you guys, the other day I was telling you about our brand new Bastardo who hangs out on the show. He doesn't talk during the show. He sends me emails of beautiful things. His name is Julian, and he was we had a very interesting conversation about people and his favorite movies. Sheena will laugh because they're all like Billy Wilder movies, black and white movie stuff from 1950, uh, amazing stuff. So I mean, I haven't seen The Matrix, but that won't be the case tomorrow. Mark Flower, there's plenty of good music and artists out there. It just doesn't make the charts. 100%, Mark. That's it. What's making the charts is the collabs and I mean, it's the end of the world when Cardi B has Grammy Awards. I mean, come on. Awards, I know awards don't mean anything anymore, but they should. They're supposed to be given out for excellence. So, enough of that shit, right? Like I wrote a letter to the Andy. I wrote a letter saying give Milli Vanilli their Grammy back, or give him his Grammy back, because the other guy was so depressed over being considered a fraud that he committed suicide slowly, drugs and alcohol, and finally OD'd in the end. And they were not doing anything that not everyone in the top 10, save for maybe one or two people, is not doing now. They're all doing what Milli Vanilli did, and they're winning Grammy Awards. They're selling millions of records, and they're selling out big venues, and they are on tape. It's bullshit. Dirk says it's bullshit. I don't like fake shit. If I go to see somebody live and they're faking it, I'm going to leave. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. And you shouldn't be either, because it's ripping you off. You could just watch it on TV. And I don't go to concerts very much. The last concert I went to, I couldn't even tell you how long ago it was. I think it was me and Colin from Mr. North went to see Iron Maiden at the Barclays Center. I think that might have been the very last show, and I think it was 2019. I just don't go see anybody anymore. And they were live. I didn't even know. Le Carre says, are you proud of Ireland's success in the Eurovision semifinals this year with a beautiful metal song? I didn't know. I will check it out. I don't follow Eurovision. I only saw the headlines about, whatever was going on there. Milli Vanilli were treated very badly. Oh, Steve Albini died. Yeah, a very outspoken guy, very interesting guy. No tricks, no mirrors. This guy was an absolute purist when it came to music, and I like a guy with a big mouth. Oh, did he? It was at a heart attack. 61 years old. That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. Sorry to hear. Dean with the £4.99 super sticker. Gone woman. You just know that there's guys in another room with lots of cloaks on, and they're going like, Santo Domini Santo Saliberi, Astani Bistumu Stemero. You know that's going on in there, in her creepy studio that she's got all her weirdos. But I love her. The Gash Man. Today's music is a product. Sadly, it has very little to do with talent. I will tell you this though. Agreed, but it's always been product. When I was doing it in the 70s, it was product. It's packaged product. They were always looking to get the bands that are gonna make the big bucks because it's a business. It's the music business. Every once in a blue moon, maybe we're programmed. Maybe Fleetwood Mac wasn't that great. Maybe there was a band that was way better than them. But you know what? They were around for a long time, and look what happened. They went through all these different. They were a hardcore blues band, with Peter Green, and then they wound up with who was the guy that died? He had a solo career, and he was the next phase of Fleetwood Mac, Bob Welsh. And then after that, friggin' Lindsay and Stevie show up, and then boom, it's a whole new thing. So somebody's always looking to package music. I just think, sadly, like if you go to see like the two people I mentioned before, Jess or Colin, when they do their club gigs, if I was an A&R guy, I'd be like, you're coming to my label right now. But, they're both, too old now because everybody's got to be 16, to make it, to get a deal or whatever. And, people say you don't need a deal. Maybe you don't need a deal, but you know what? If you want to get your foot in the door and you want to get promotion and you want to owe a lot of money for a couple of years because that money's all recoupable, you have to pay it all back. I mean, yeah, it's true. It's always been product. Dua Lipa actually made Elton John's song even better. I don't know about that. I didn't like that collaboration at all because I'm an Elton John purist, and he sings everything really low now, but it's okay, Hold me close now, time to dance. It used to be, hold me close now, time to dance. Now it's, hold me close now, time to dance. But it's really funny is he's not changing the keys of any of the songs. And shit, I have to listen to see what he's doing now because he doesn't use an acoustic piano anymore. He was the only pop artist that was ever signed to Steinway and Sons, and then he left them for Yamaha, and Yamaha is of course full of electronic gizmos, so he probably just changes oh shit, I didn't think of that. He probably does. I'll have to look at it, but when I see him on play live, it's just, he's playing it exactly the same. He's just singing it really low, like really low, like an octave lower. Crazy. Velve says MacBooks aren't going to work for gaming. Well, if you can super chat, you can super hype them and make them work. But yes, for the most part, no. Then they're just not built that way. You got to have really big, dedicated video cards and all that shit, and RAM and all that shit. You got to have. It's just got to be. They've never been made for gaming. Never. They never have. My wife always says that her Mac Air is too slow. Unfortunately, I think it might be her. Well, like I just got Rose a MacBook Air because she had a 2009 MacBook Pro, and I rebuilt it. I replaced the battery, which that model was really hard to do because it was like the goo kind, wasn't a replaceable kind. And that was interesting. And I also like the challenges because if it's something I've never done before, it's interesting. And I didn't care if I ruined it, and I didn't. But anyway, finally that died, and I got her a new one last year. It's lightning fast, but it's not for gaming. It's not for gaming. PCs aren't for gaming either. You have to build them. You have to build them. Sean L. There's that handsome guy with the big cleft. Tune and still Bond tracks. I love it. I stand by my Radiohead Spectre is way better. My guilty pleasure, and don't kill me for saying this, my favorite actual Bond song is no, it's a beautiful song. It has no bridge though, which is really weird. And you would think that there'd be a great bridge in that song. I was waiting for it and I didn't hear it. No, I think it's a great song. It's my least favorite film because they turned him into Batman. They just totally stole everything from the Batman franchise. They gave him an Alfred. They gave him a Wayne Manor. His parents were murdered in front of him. It was just, wait a second. Huh? Gail says she's still next door in CT, a little further up the line. Right down the line. Hiteshi is here. Hello, bastards. Interesting. Topster's here. Hey, what about Taylor Swift Diapergate? Oh, tell us all about it. Don't know anything about it. And back then, concert. I remember. I have concert tickets in my scrapbook that are $5, $5, $10, $9. They were mostly $11.50. No cans, no bottles. Andy says money had value before the printing began. Now money is toilet paper. It is. And everything's, we're just tapping. I mean, a cup of coffee is $6. That's obscene. The music streaming service is called Qbuzz. It's the best for high-res music streaming services, but the music category is not as good as Tidal. Tidal is the best overall service value for money. Thank you for asking. Thank you for telling. Topsis says, I think she might shit herself or something. This may be true. $3 and 72 would buy you what, 100? Is that true? Is that the rate of it's terrible? Yeah, I could. Ray says, could you clear the bottom banner? Do I have what, the Basherdirk thing? Why can't I leave that on there? Okay, I'll get rid of it because you asked me to, but I'm going to put it back because I want people to send me stuff. Well, I've got to hit the Bastards gallery in a minute anyway. Dearest. Let me go. Where was I now? Where was I? I'll have to check that service out. I don't know anything about it. Luke MTech wants to know if I am a fan of Chris Stapleton. I haven't investigated him enough, but man, can that guy sing? Holy shit. And my sister says, of course, Dolores O'Riordan, who was fucking magical. I don't know how you guys felt about the Cranberries. When she first came out, I used to go, do you have to use your finger? I used to think she was annoying when she first came out, and I grew to become a massive fan of hers. Absolutely love them. And my favorite album by the Cranberries is To the Faithful Departed. I love that album. It's amazing. And what a shame. What a shame. It's terrible. Gail says Lana Del Rey's version of Once Upon a Dream is so cool. Everything about her is cool. I think she's just fucking cool. Since we're talking music, let's go back in time. Sorry, Gail, you missed the boat. I talk about the Partridge Family on this channel all the time. What's my favorite bridge, guys, everywhere in the world? Do dreams come true? Well, if they do, I have you. If not for one night, but for the whole night through. I woke up in love this morning. Best bridge ever. Strings and Tommy Tedesco on guitar and Carol Kay and Hal Blaine on drums. The best. I listen to the Partridge Family all week long, Gail. I'm always quoting and talking about them on this show. David Cassidy, I saw him. I've seen him live. David Cassidy is my first influence ever. My number one first vocal influence ever. Ivar, hello, Ivar. Why is Christina Aguilera's legacy not holding up well? Growing up, she was huge and her videos were on MTV all the time. Christina had the best voice of her era, and she is now relatively, I don't know if she's forgotten. She just got very, Zempic. She's super skinny now. Super crazy skinny. Because, she got pretty, she put on some weight. Happens to people, happens to everybody, happens to me, happens to you, happens to everybody. And amazing. I always said she's got a great instrument, but she's a terrible singer. She always oversang the living shit out of stuff. But I don't know why. She had great songs. I don't know if it was her management. I know she's managed by the same guy that manages the Eagles, and he's one of the most evil people in the whole wide world. He's like 4 feet 11 inches tall. He's a mean mustard seed. I don't know. She put out a record, the one with Ain't No Other Man, Ain't No Other Man. And what was the other song? She did that USO thing. It was like 1940s Rosie the Riveter. It was fucking amazing. Horns and strings and big arrangements. What was the name of that song? Candyman. I love that whole record. Then she put out a song called "Don't You Lost Me" and "Hurt." She's an amazing singer. I don't know, and maybe she just needs maybe she just needs what's her face from Four Non Blondes to write more hits for her, like "Beautiful." Remember when that came out? It was amazing. Uh, Bojo says Rick Beato's latest interview with Jimmy Chamberlain. If for those of you who don't know, Jimmy Chamberlain is the drummer for the Smashing Pumpkins. It was a great interview. What a lovely fellow. It's so impossible to believe, but this just goes to show you with the humanity in the room that we're all not perfect. He had a very, very bad drug problem, and there was a point in his life where he was thrown out of the Smashing Pumpkins because, speaking of the Partridge Family, uh, um, I forget the guy's first name, but it was Melvoin, Jonathan Melvoin, the touring keyboard player for the Smashing Pumpkins, died from a heroin overdose because he was hanging around with Jimmy, and Jimmy was a big smack fiend. Anyway, this kid is here's my connection. I'm making it ready. This kid, Jonathan Melvoin, is the brother of Wendy Melvoin, who is Wendy of Wendy and Lisa of Prince and the Revolution. And their father was Mike Melvoin, who was the, uh, I believe he was the orchestrator and or musical director for the Partridge Family and for a lot of the stuff that the Wrecking Crew did. He was a multi-instrumentalist. I think he played piano on most of those records, but I know he also played several horn instruments and oboe as well. So yeah, I did see that. It was freaking amazing. Hey, Ryan Gosling was the best thing about the Academy Awards. That it was infectious. It was fun. It was amazing. You know, Gail went to see Judas Priest and Sabadon. I don't know who Sabadon is. I've heard of them, but I don't know. It's like that new metal stuff. Gail, I don't like new metal. I just don't. Too aggressive for me. Oh, you're going to see them. Oh, a couple weeks ago. Great show. Some bands can still bring it. Yeah, well, because they have Richie Faulkner and he's great. I do think that they should get rid of their producer and put KK back in there. It's really, really stupid. Do I remember the band Enigma? I do indeed, and I have their record somewhere on my shelf. Everyone bought that record. That record, everyone bought that record. That's like buying Liberace records or Andy Williams records in the 60s. Everyone has Carole King Tapestry, don't they? Everyone has the first Enya with Sail Away, Sail Away, Sail Away. That's called Orinoco Flow. Everybody has that. Enigma was amazing. Amazing. Topster says there was some pictures of Tay Tay at her concert and the wind blew up her skirt and it looked like she was wearing a dog. Oh, is that really? She might. Maybe she's just can't make it to the toilet while she's doing those big arena shows. I'm not really sure. Uh, Gail says, I'm new to the party, but I figured you'd rave on them. I love the Partridges. You know I am. Anyway, guys, it's time for the Bastards Gallery. We're well over time, but fuck it. Who cares? This is Bastards. It's your show. I'm just the host. So let's get started. Let's get this party started. Easy E is up. I will now take this off the screen because it was really bothering Ray tonight. We love you, Ray. Are you still even here, or did it drive you crazy that I had my email? It's trying to run a show here, pal. So let me give you some reference on what he sent me first before I just sent it to you. This for those of you who don't know, and I learned when I had coffee with this lovely fella, is that Easy E is French. And this is his grandfather's French art. He's a French artist, like from France. And they're actually quite beautiful. I saw them earlier. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I love that one. And this is probably their little town because he told me what town. I'm not going to dox him from a little town. And look at how different he is. He's abstract too. That's actually pretty cool. And I'm not usually, Paul's an artist and we usually make fun of the shit. Oh, he really dabbled in abstract. But I like these. I like some abstract. Oh, I like that a lot. Oh, he's very unique. Wow. Huh. These are very interesting. Wow. Oh, and this is like the textured stuff. That stuff gives me a little bit of the creeps when it's textured. I gotta admit. If it was behind glass, I'd be fine. It's like you wing it like Pollock, right? You throw it at the canvas, I would imagine. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Easy. You're at work right now, I know, but everybody was asking about you the other day. Dean McKenzie, Dean McKenzie, Dean McKenzie showing off his garden. Look at that. Those are beautiful. What do you call those? Are those? I mean, wow, I have no idea what they are. They look like when they set dress a spaceship landing in another planet. That's what it looks like. Oh, those are beautiful. Those are bluebells. I love those. Oh, wow. Beautiful. So I had like something on my basil. I told you my basil wasn't doing well. The leaves were turning white. I took a picture of it with this app that tells you what's wrong with it and said there were pests on it, and it told me what to get. And I sprayed the stuff on it, and I sprayed insecticide, this natural insecticide on my basil, which means I don't even know how you could eat it now, but it went away, and now the basil's doing well. So it worked. Those are, wow, what are these? Wow. Oh, who's that? Oh, man. Did you say who this is? Oh, under the van because it's so hot out, right? Oh, look at that. I always get nervous when cats are under cars. Beautiful. What is your cat's name? Unless it's not your cat, is that just maybe one of the strays in the neighborhood? Let me read that email and I'll know. It's hot out there. I'm going under the van. So yeah, no, it's your cat. Okay, I want to make sure. Melly C in the house with some Mork and Mindy. Carrie, if you're in the room right now, you're gonna have a heart attack. Look at that. Oh, she's not a cat girl. She's a dog lady, but I became a cat lady. It happened to me. Because my very first cat looked exactly like Mindy. My cat was his name was Glaucus, and he was perfect black and white with perfect black with white boots in the back, white paws in the front, a white bib, and that exact marking, except he had a black nose. Laverne had the most beautiful, perfect pink nose ever. And but Glaucus looked just like Mindy. And they're the smartest cats in the whole wide world. Yeah, you know what? You had a rough day. Why don't you just take a load off and relax? Oh, there they are. There's Mork. He's like, she always gets the best real estate. Because look where they always like as you notice in all of Andrew's photographs, cats, if you're not a cat person or know about cats, they always try to find the ray of sunshine because it's all that concentrated heat, and cats love heat. And your tutor, your Black Bay, looking great. I'm wearing your doppelganger today, darling. Look at that, looking great. Thank you, Melly C. Thank you so much. Vasilios with his Black Bay. Always looks great because he's got a great wrist. Look at that watch. Fits on him perfectly. Look at that. Yeah. Did anybody see Yoshin's video on Tudor's identity problem? You know what? It was really very interesting because I'm not a Tudor person by any stretch of the imagination. I admire the brand. I admire the designs. I know that they don't really, other than like the Pelagos and a couple other things, but man, watch that video that he did on. It's very short. I think it's 14 minutes long or so. But he basically he calls them a cover band, and I couldn't think of a better analogy. Tudor really is a cover band because we all know what that looks like. We all know what that looks like, and it's way more affordable, and it might even be better. It might very well be better. Look at that. Were you buying this in the store, just trying it on? Is that on a tag? Did it have a tag on it? What is that? Great looking shot though. I hope you got it because it's great. I love the brand. I think it looks beautiful, and I think it looks amazing on you, bro. Broham, what's up, bro? What's up? What's up? Bert, Mr. Dundee, with a deep C and a singletons. You don't around, do you, mister? Look at that. You got a big wrist, right? You can pull that off. I wish I liked whiskey. I just don't. I love the art of it, the age of it, the history. I would love to go to Isla. I still want to go to Isla. I'm going to go there. When I do finally get to go there, I'm going to go there, and I'm not going to taste anything because I don't like it. I don't care. I've tasted the really good shit, and I don't like it. I don't get whiskey at all. I wish I did. I wish it did. Here's Ray. You happy now, Ray? It's not on there. I took my email off that I used to get my show cooking. Look at that. The bull of a Marine Star with the pseudo tourbillon, but it's cool. He's got a giant collection of Bulova. Or as the Irish love to call it, Bulova. Bulova. Fergal McDormott. With some Christopher Wards, I'm assuming, because it says CWs. And I'm sure you're not talking about country and western, right? My 2000th post. Thank you to everybody who follows my Instagram and likes my comments on my photos. I really appreciate it. And there it is. And they are Christopher Wards. That's a brand that everybody loves, man. And you know what? I don't have one. I'll get one eventually. That's really cool. That's a beautiful dress watch, man. Kind of no-mo-y, right? That's the do they have their own? Are they in-house movements? See, I don't know enough about that brand. Caliber JJ, was it a modified Valjoux or whatever? Look at that. And they come in so many different varieties. That looks a little Bell and Rossi to me. They've got crazy loom. I got loom. It's multiplying. And it's wow. Look at this racing beast. You got quite the collection there. This is Antonio Ascari. Oh, that was the time he did it in? Oh, that's amazing. Look at this thing. Wow. Look at that. Who knew? Christopher Ward, ladies and gentlemen. Very cool, bro. Cool, bro. What's up? I have my hat on backwards like I'll be like, what's up? What's up, bro ham? With Nathaniel tonight. What's up, bro? He's not here. He'd get the joke, though. It's a funny thing. In the gay world, it's very butch. Someone goes, sup. I used to work with this guy when I worked at the farm. I think I've talked about him on the show. He's a really, really talented actor. And a single guy approaching his 50s, and if not just about 50 or whatever it is, maybe I don't know exactly his age, but he was like close to my age or whatever. And he'd always come in and he'd always come up to my bar for drinks and he'd be like, sup. And he would tell me that on the single scene, that's how people behave. And I was like, ew. I am so grateful to not be single. Grateful. Absolutely grateful. Here's Ray Ray again with a little Casio action. I'm going bike riding tomorrow. That's my plan. And I'm going to wear the Casio. Right there, Mr. McDunkey. I'm going to wear it tomorrow. And I'll take pictures of it. Because I'll take pictures of my bikes too. Because I haven't shown you guys my bikes yet. And I have very cool bikes. I've had them for 25 more years. And I just had to fix them, oil them, de-rust them on the chains, So, and that's been quite a thing. This is from Dave N. Hey. Wow. What is that? Forgive me for not knowing. But that's crazy. Is that oh, wow. Is this like a museum art watch? Look at that. Edifice. This is a Casio Edifice. It's a great looking watch. I love the concentric dials like that. It's very cool. It's great looking. Yo, you got the whole collection there. That's the Bamford. At a pool, huh? Looking great, man. Thanks, Dave. Look at that. Those two models I never saw ever in my entire life, yo. Ever. Angelo Minichello. Hey, with his Tesla action. On well, I can only assume is your estate. Look at that. My nephew got a Tesla. And I said, "Oh, I've never been in one of these. Can you take me for a ride?" And he scared the living shit out of me because I've never felt torque like that in my life. And I've been in Ferraris many times. I've been in Maserati, the fastest cars. I've been in them all. I've been in a Lambo. I've been in a police cruiser. My friend is a cop, and he scared the shit out of me. But this thing, I've never felt power like that in my life. We took off like a rocket ship, which makes sense because he makes rockets now, doesn't he? Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Melly C double wristing. Thank you, darling. Thank you for the double wristing. There's the tutor. Oh, look, Anna Longine looking very beautiful on you. Look at that. It complements your skin tone. Look at that. Blue and gold. Wow, that looks great. I love that watch. So dressy. So dressy. Fantastic. And that, dear friends, is the Bastards Gallery for the night. Um, what do you guys talk about? Yeah. Roar the Tiger. Yeah, I'm talking about him. Yeah. Irving Azoff. Uh, it's funny because once I was talking to Colin, so we were talking about great singers before, and Colin Smith from Mr. North sang with Christina Aguilera for a couple of years. He was in her band. You know that song? Save me, I'm giving up on you. It's a duet, and she did it with this thing called, I think, Great Big World or something like that. Anyway, that guy has his own career or had it. Or no one knows who he is. But Colin was the guy that sang that with her every night, and he also would sing background vocals and be part of her show and stuff. And I was on the subway one day, and he was there. I was like, "Oh my god, I haven't seen you so long." Blah blah blah. We're talking, and we're talking about Irving. He says, "Oh, Irving Azoff manages her now," and I was like, "Oh god." And then I made a short joke, and he's like, "No, he's not short." And I was like, "You haven't met Irving Azoff." And I guess he hadn't. We've never talked about it ever since. And I remember he goes, "No, he's like 5'11." I was like, "No, that's somebody who works for his office because he's literally less than 5 feet tall. He's he's a very small guy." Um, but yeah, he sang with Christina during her lull period. Like she wasn't having any hits at all. I think she might have had that Moves Like Jagger collab, maybe. Possible. Anyway, what would you say, Tubbs? There's a little rich from my blood, and I'm not a rune guy. The Orender app is really. Oh, you guys are talking about audio stuff. All right, guys. This should be a private chat, so you can talk about that. But it's very cool shit, though. I have a couple of folks who are going to send me their audio stuff too. Julian is going to send me. Apparently, he's got some great stuff. Um, Dave says, "I'm thinking of typing something inappropriate comments so Miss Martin will have something to do." She's very quiet. You know, she's in the show, listening to the show very carefully. Franco Fiore, as always, upvote. Please upvote and subscribe if you haven't already. Got 66 in the room right now. If we could get 66, it would be amazing. It really changes the whole outlook of everything, and I really appreciate it. Dean says, Dirk, the purple flower toll thing is called Allium hollandicum, the lollipop thing. That was beautiful. He's a master. What is the correct word for horticulturist? Or was I guess a horticulturist, right? Right. Tobster had a cat a long time ago. She'd bring me dead birds that she caught, and she loved napping on my amp. Cats love amp. Laverne lived in front of the TV. It was plasma. That's the main reason why I didn't get rid of it. Um, I mean, not that it works and everything, but I never even considered getting a different TV because she loved the heat so much, and that's just how it worked. Dave says, I didn't know they had gay farms. Actually, this is one very popular, very handsome English farmer on Instagram. Shoot me. Uh, listen, every old sock meets an old shoe. Ain't that a great saying? Every old sock meets an old shoe. And I'll give you a gong if anybody knows who sang that line. But it's so true. On the internet, there's an old sock for an old shoe everywhere. Topes just says he has 600 albums. I have like about 4,000 albums in my room, and I'm not going to rip them. I'm going to play them on a turntable because that's what I got to do. That is what I have got to do in this world. And once again, I don't know what's going on with this particular thing, but like every night at the end of the show, I always go down I star all the super chats and super stickers, and there's nothing. The thing is empty. So, and I know we have them tonight, so I usually like to go one by one and thank everybody, and I will continue to do that as long as I can. And in the wait a second, hold on, I have to fix this right now before I send this. Hold on, and it's going to be okay, now I can show it. And special thanks to the Patreon Pantheon, who are Jim Lassick, Andrew Wolkowicz, Go Motosoto, Nick Sisto, Complicated Time, Fergal McDermott, Nathaniel Hannon, Dana O'Malley, Lord Scotty H. Lord Scotty H, we miss you in the episodes. You don't say anything. You know, he sends me PayPals, and I love him, and I love his content. Come on back. Join the fray. Dean McKenzie, Al Benedetti, Angelo Minichello, Gasman 308, Danielle, nice phone call today. Dave Fahrenheit 451, Dave Fitzsimons, and Lady Wrench Martin. She's officially in it. Remember to send all of your Bashtard photographs. You share with me, I share with the world. I would love to bring them for tomorrow's show. Well, not tomorrow's show, Sunday show. I'll be back tomorrow with a Sheen O'Malley for Classic Bashers. We're going to open up wine. We're going to be stupid and do all that stuff and probably talk about watches and the world at large, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'll be back for you. You better repent. Sunday Mass. Renew, revive, repent, reveal, all those things. I love doing the Sunday show. You guys asked for my Sunday show, so I gave you a Sunday show. So I expect you all to be there on Sunday when we pray at 3 o'clock. Is there a meet and greet with Ush in New York City planned? Is he coming to New York that he didn't tell me about? Daniel, that I don't know anything about. Do I know nothing about that? Melly C says Kate Bush. And what did I say I'd give you for that? It's one of the most beautiful songs. Every old sock meets an old shoe. It's from Moments of Pleasure, which is probably the song that makes me cry the most. Probably. Dean says, save me a seat for Sunday. There's no seats, only pews. So, or genuflection, if you can do that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's my show for today. Almost a half an hour over, but you're worth it. I love you all. Thank you so much. Remember to say please and thank you. Remember to hold the door open. But before I do that, wait a second. I'm going to start over again. Send all of your pics to Basherdirk. That's where I was before I stopped it for the gong. I just want to make sure that you guys all know that. And I'm sorry if that's annoying you, Ray. I'm going to tease you for that forever. Okay? So remember to say please and thank you. Remember to hold the door open. And if you encounter somebody who's just a little bit less than friendly, remember they might be having a bad day or something terrible might have happened to them. So give them enough rope to hang themselves, because you never know. They might be a wonderful person underneath, or else they're just a cunt.